Energy efficiency and renewable energy. Legal training e-learning module for energy efficiency and renewable energy. Energy efficiency and renewable energy. The law of energy efficiency. Energy efficiency policy of Turkey is guided by the law on energy efficiency and its secondary regulations. The law on energy efficiency aims to promote end-user efficiency, effective usage of energy resources, avoiding waste, increase the cost of large amounts of energy consumption, and protection of the environment. The law defines energy efficiency as reducing the energy consumption without causing any decline in the living standards and service quality in buildings, and production quality and quantity in industrial establishments. The law covers principles and procedures applicable for increasing and promoting energy efficiency, raising energy awareness in the general public, and utilizing renewable energy sources. Scope of the law on energy efficiency. The law on energy efficiency provides legal basis for establishment of administrative structure, mandate, and authority of General Directorate of Electricity Affairs Survey Administration, which was the main department of the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources for conducting studies in the main axis of energy efficiency and renewable energy, and later transformed into General Directorate of Renewable Energy. Requirements and responsibilities for the energy management training and awareness. Energy performance of the buildings. Minimum energy efficiency requirements, subsidies and support provided for promotion of EE, monitoring, fines and penalties for non-compliance. Energy Efficiency Coordination Board. The Energy Efficiency Coordination Board is the body responsible for the implementation of energy efficiency studies, monitoring their results, and approving the energy efficiency incentives. The board prepares energy efficiency strategies, determines their effectiveness, and takes new precautions if necessary. The board convenes 4 times a year in March, June, September, and December, and if the chairman of the board convenes 4 times a year in March, June, September, and December, and if the chairman of the board deems necessary, it may convene extraordinarily. The quorum for meeting is 2/3 majority, and resolutions shall be passed by the majority of those present. The General Directorate of Renewable Energy is responsible for implementation of decisions made by the board and its secretariat services. Energy management. Energy management is training, audit, measurement, monitoring, planning and implementation activities in order to ensure efficient use of energy sources and energy. If the annual energy consumption of an industrial enterprise exceeds 1000 TOE, an energy manager must be assigned. If the consumption of the enterprise exceeds 50,000 TOE, an energy management unit must be established. Commercial and service buildings with at least 20,000 square meter area or an annual energy consumption over 500 TOE, public buildings with at least 10,000 square meter area or an annual energy consumption over 250 TOE must have an energy manager or obtain service from energy managers. Organized industrial zones, including enterprises with less than 1,000 TOE of energy consumption, must establish energy management units. Energy efficiency measures, efficiency increasing projects, voluntary agreements, training and awareness. Efficiency increasing project subsidies are used for promoting the enterprises for their projects. Enterprises which consume more than 1,000 TOE are entitled to apply for such subsidies. A voluntary agreement is a contract between an industrial enterprise and the GDRE, where the industrial enterprise undertakes to provide a 10% decrease in its energy intensity for the following 3 years in reference to the energy intensity of the previous 5 years in exchange for a grant at the end of the agreement period. The GDRE is required to prepare training programs, competitions, short movies and/or cartoons in order to create public awareness. Public agencies and institutions are required to organize promotion and awareness-raising activities. Energy Efficiency Strategy Paper. The main target set by the document is to decrease the energy intensity of Turkey at least 20% in the year 2023. The purpose of the Energy Efficiency Strategy Paper is to determine a political set supported with result-focused and concrete targets and to define the to-be-made activities necessary for reaching targets together with the enterprises responsible for making these activities, to act in the framework of a collaboration and participatory approach of public and private sector and non-governmental organizations. Legislation in renewable energy. Turkey has ratified the Kyoto Protocol. Turkey had ratified the Kyoto Protocol within the scope of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and the protocol became a part of its national legislation. The Kyoto Protocol brings the obligation of reducing greenhouse gases, and it's also an international legal base for the establishment of a global carbon market. Turkey's vision for 2023 envisages challenging targets for the use of renewable energy source. These targets include increasing the share of renewables to 30%, maximizing the use of hydropower, increasing wind power installed capacity to 20,000 megawatts, installing power plants with 600 megawatts of geothermal and 3,000 megawatts of solar energy. The law on the usage of renewable energy resources for electricity production, shortly known as the Renewable Energy Law, defines the renewable energy resources as the non-fossil energy resources such as hydraulic, wind, solar, geothermal, biomass gases, including landfill gases, wave flows and tidal streams. The coordinating body for the application of the law is the MENR. The law covers the non-fossil energy resources such as hydraulic, both run-of-the-river type and reservoir type hydropower plants which have 5 km² reservoir areas at most, wind, solar, geothermal, biomass gases, wave flows and tidal streams. By the 2011 amendments to guaranteed purchase prices were increased, the cabinet is authorized to determine fixed guaranteed prices. A new domestic production incentive is introduced for components produced in Turkey. The law stipulates that no development plan affecting the renewable energy resource areas can be prepared for the areas owned by the state. The law obliges electricity supplier companies to purchase renewable energies. Renewable Energy Support Mechanism. Renewable Energy Resource Certificate is granted by EMRA, Energy Market Regulatory Authority, to electric generation license holders. The Renewable Energy Resource Certificate is also used for incentives and emission markets for producers. RES certificate holders are entitled to benefit from the support mechanism on a yearly basis. Participation in the support mechanism is not mandatory, and the license holders are allowed to sell the produced energy under free market conditions. The support mechanism provides guaranteed prices for electricity generated by using renewable energy resources. Guaranteed prices are directly fixed by the law. The law provides an additional incentive for mechanical and/or electromechanical equipment used in the production facilities of license holder entities based on the renewable energy resources. Unlicensed electricity generation. The Electricity Market Law, the regulation on the unlicensed electricity generation in the electricity market. Unlicensed electricity generation without the requirement of establishing a company is introduced by the Electricity Market Law. No energy generation license is required for power plants using renewable energy resources which have an installed maximum capacity under 1 megawatt, and for facilities which generate electricity from renewable energy resources and consume the energy at the same measurement point with its production. Electricity market law authorizes the cabinet for increasing the maximum installed capacity for the unlicensed electricity generation in facilities using renewable energy resources up to 5 times. Selling the energy to third parties by bilateral agreements is not allowed, but surplus electricity may be sold under YEKDEM conditions.